Good morning, everybody. This is Zach at it again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and I'm honored to be with Mr. Shannon Shelton. He is the new welding teacher for the Wythe County Technology Center, which we are spotlighting on a monthly basis. Thank you, Mr. Shelton, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that you are the newest member of the Wythe County Technology Center faculty. Can you tell me a little bit about your background, where you came from, where you grew up, how you got into welding, and then tell me how you came to get the job?
I grew up in Washington County and Smith County.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school there for at Wythe County High School.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Wythe County in 03, 04, got a job at a factory in Rural Retreat at Dalton Enterprise, where they did aluminum horse trailers. That's where I first got into welding. Welded there for 19 years. The last 2 years I was there, I was the shop foreman for Dalton's, and I trained people from 18 to 50 years old on how to weld.
Mm-hmm.
Left there in September of last year and went to Wythe County Public Schools maintenance job. Just needed a change of scenery. Then last month, about late August or early August, late July, found out that the welding instructor's job became available and started the pursuit for it and wound up getting the job and getting the nomination for the job, and here we are today.
And what attracted you to, because I mean, you had been a foreman at Dalton, so I guess instructing was not all that foreign to you, but was it a big leap from your job to becoming an instructor, or what attracted you to making that step?
Not really. I mean, even growing up, teaching was always something that I wanted to do, but life just got in the way. And then I started coaching in 04. Started helping with the youth league groups and things and coaching in that aspect. About 4 years ago, started helping with the middle school squad at Rural Retreat, coaching football. Just have always been around coaching, always liked and enjoyed helping the kids learn and different things. So it wasn't a big leap to go from coaching to instructing or teaching.
Sure. So you're very new to the job. Probably not a lot to answer with this, but how has your experience been so far with this being your first year?
Oh, it's a great experience. Right now we're mainly into the safety aspect of things, just making sure we cover all the safety issues that will arise in the shop, just making sure the kids are safe. Watching the kids learn and grow, especially in a trait that I've got 19 years experience, it's going to be a fun experience to watch them become better welders and fabricators.
Okay, and how many students do you currently have? Over how many classes?
We teach 2 classes, Welding 1 and Welding 2. There are 11 in the first class and 9 in the second class.
Okay. All male?
No. We actually have 1 female in Welding 2 and 3 females in Welding 1.
Fantastic. All right. So what goals do you have for your current students for this year?
Welding 1, we're looking to build a basis to teach them how to weld, learn the basics of welding, different styles of welding, different styles of cutting metal. We are with the hope that they stick with the class and move on to Welding 2. Welding 2, we want to help those kids be ready to take the next step in life when they graduate. find a career, a job, a way to support their families and become productive members of society.
Is Welding 1 and Welding 2, is that for juniors and seniors respectively?
Yes, but we have sophomores are allowed to take Welding 1 and they can finish up in Welding 2 by their junior year. Mainly right now, I think I have one sophomore in Welding 1 and my Welding 2 class is all seniors. Very
good. Now, with every other department that I have spotlighted in my column, there have been a certain number of competitions, such as the Skills USA or state level, regional level competitions. Do you have anything like that for your students?
Yes, we have the Skills USA in welding that we will be competing in. I have two potential prospects, even four kids that I'm looking at that I know that have the ability to compete and are quality welders. So we will be competing in the Skills USA.
And what will be required of your students? Is there something specific they must weld together and direct, or is it just sort of a checklist of things?
They have a specific weld pattern that they have to lay with in regards to the type of metal, the thickness of the metal that they use. There is a specific weld test. It is, they have to lay a filler pass, then a cover pass. They also have to do some aluminum TIG, which will be very exciting because I don't think a lot of the kids have an experience as on the aluminum TIG side.
You said aluminum TIG? Is that what you said?
TIG weld, yes.
TIG weld. Okay, I'll have to look all that. I have to look all that up and see what all that is for the article.
Yeah.
But they're not like building a specific structure like in electronics they had to build a robot. So they're not building anything in particular to showcase. It's just based on the welding passes that they make. Very good, very good. So also with every other department, there are dual credit accreditations, like with the OSHA or the NOCTI that the departments give and that will help them in the workforce. I'm sure that in welding you offer similar things.
Yes, we have the OSHA 10, which is a 10-hour course for the OSHA industrial general industry things, and then we have the NOCTI tests at the end of the year, the same accreditations as the other programs.
Sure. So also with other programs, they for different programs there's a different amount of collegiate work necessary, and I would gather that in welding would be one of those that if you didn't want to go to college, you wouldn't necessarily have to go to college to have a job in welding. Can you explain the importance of the welding industry here in Wythe County and the job availability? And if someone does want to go to college, what options would someone in welding, how would that benefit them? Basically, give me a rundown of both scenarios. If you go to college or if you don't go to college, how's it going to be beneficial for you?
Well, if the kids decide to go to college, they would have options. I know in Norfolk there is the apprentice school of welding, and they do some really good things. Of course, they're out there at Norfolk where they work on the boats, the big ships and things. So there are options for college that people who want to pursue a higher degree of welding certification. You know, we want to prepare the kids that want to take that route to be able to get those classes and be prepared for those classes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of options in that aspect of things in the college route.
Mm-hmm.
And going into the manufacturing or industrial route of welding, we would like to prepare the kids to, the next step would be to get a certification. AWS is the one that comes to mind as far as certification goes, just to become a certified welder and start work right away, right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Wythe County, we have several businesses, machine shops and welding shops in the area. Some of the bigger ones that are not in Wythe County but are still local would be in Dublin, you know, at Volvo. You've got utility trailers in Smith County. There's a lot of job opportunities. You know, we have the Amco and all those factories. There are what's the one that Coalfield Mining that's over on Pepper's Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
We got Dalton down in Rural Retreat. There's a lot of welding jobs right here local that we can keep the kids local and they can be ready to go to work. I know all those places are finding it very hard right now to find people to go to work.
Right. Do you find that your students are engaged in their work, that they enjoy welding and have a passion for welding?
I think in year one, we're finding out who really is excited about welding. We're seeing some come on that are very excited about it. Others who may not think it is the correct path for them. That's what Welding 1 does, is it kind of figures out, is this the right path? They get their hands on it, they figure it out, and they decide if they're interested in, if welding is a path they want to take. Some don't, most do. In Welding 2, those guys are pretty much decided that this is the plan they want to take. This is the route in life they're going to go. I do have a couple that are interested in the college route. Most are interested in just a way to earn a living and have a career after they've graduated.
Absolutely. And I typically ask, what are some success stories that you have? I wasn't going to ask you that question because I thought it was too soon in the newness of your career to ask the question if you have success stories, because most instructors talk about, well, I have these students that have gone on to do this and this and this, but you said something that sparked me. You said you have a couple of students that you see already have potential to go on and compete in the Skills USA. Are you beginning to see, you want to talk about those couple of people and what you are beginning to see in the success? Because it's obvious, if you're seeing it that quickly, that you are having a certain number of students who are naturals in the welding field.
Oh, for sure. We've done a few projects around the school here. For example, we welded the goalpost on the George Wythe practice field that had came loose. And it was very difficult. We're talking very dirty metal, very painted metal. And a couple of the kids really stepped up and did a great job of cleaning the metal and welding the metal. I kind of just helped along with the instructions and gave them a few little tips. But those are the kids I'm talking about that I see potential in competing in the Skills USA. They've just stepped up. They really enjoy the art of welding, and they're excited about just odd projects that I feel like they have come up and stepped up big for us.
And I love what you just said. You just said, because I graduated from George Wythe 20 years ago in 2003. I'm wheelchair bound, so I always tell people you can't tell it by looking at me, but I was never the athletic type. Nor would I be mechanically inclined to do anything like welding. but I know how important welding is. Living in a wheelchair every day, parts that needed to be welded on, and things that need to be welded for equipment wise. But not being in the athletic or fields that require a lot of physicality, I went more towards the artistic way and became a natural writer and thus a natural newspaper columnist. But I loved what you said. You called welding the art of welding, because there is art in even the mechanical fields of things. So give me a little bit on the art of welding, if you would.
Well, I tell my kids all the time, there are welders and there are fabricators. Okay, a welder is a guy who can lay a beautiful welding bead. He can put things together. But then you have the fabricator. He is a guy who can see something that is nothing and turn it into something. That is, to me, that is the art of welding. When you have a young man or young woman that can take a piece of flat metal and they can see an object in their mind, and they can take that piece of metal and turn it into an object. Then you have just the side of welding that it doesn't look, it is a visually pleasing look to see. Your wheelchair, for example, probably has some welds on it that
yes, indeed,
visually pleasing. They're not bad to look at. That's right. The art of welding, knowing how to take something as strong as steel and melding it to look very pleasing to the eye.
Yes, indeed. And I do have some things, the chrome in my wheels. It wouldn't necessarily have to be chrome, but they've made it chrome so it looks nice. I have, a metallic finish over the wheelbase. They always ask me what color I want, and I always request red. And of course, for it to be mechanically functional, it wouldn't matter what color it is. But they try to paint it the color that you want it, and I definitely can appreciate a good welder, because there are other equipment. There's other equipment like shower chairs and manual wheelchairs and just different things like walkers and braces and things that people who have my condition and similar conditions that deal with every day that need to be welded, and I can stress personally to the importance of the field that you're working in.
Not only but visually pleasing to the eye, but also they need to be strong. They need to be trustworthy.
Durable. And so many things, back in the day, it seems that people were building things to last, and you got what you paid for. Today, you can go out and pay twice, 3 times the money, and it lasts about half as long, or a fraction as long as it would have, back in the day when things were built. So yeah. I think it's very important, and I'm sure your students are learning, build things that are going to last, build things to people to get their money's worth out of your work. But I mean, if you've got students that are looking at nothing and could take that dirty metal and build it into a brand new, and could envision before they built it that brand new beautiful goalpost, then you have some natural welders and, as you said, natural fabricators.
For sure.
In your within your class. Let me ask you, as we close here, I'm just going to do a general plug for the Technology Center and the programs that they offer in general. We all know that college is not for everybody, but if you want to go to college, we want to make that easier for you. And either way they choose to go, the programs at the Wythe County Technology Center will help them do that. Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. We're here. Our job as teachers and educators are here to support the kids and help them, the same as parents, to help them be ready to face the real world. We know how things change after graduation day, whether you go to college or whether you go into the workforce. The life is different. Mm-hmm. So our job as educators and teachers are to help them become more prepared in either direction. And I think the teachers here at Wythe County Technology Center do a great job of that.
And you could not have a better leader than Ms. Stone to support and not only support, but to come to me and ask me to do an individual spot each month in my weekly column to highlight each one of her departments. I mean, you have somebody that wants to do that, and then you guys must be doing something right, you know.
Ms. Stone is a great promoter of the Wythe County Technology Center. She is a great leader for us. She has our backs when needed, and she's also the person that's out front telling us when we need to steer in a different direction. She does a great job. We're very happy to have her as our boss.
You bet. And when she's trying to steer you in the right direction, you're going to be better for having to listen to what she said.
Oh, for sure. She will make us a success. I'm confident in that.
Do you also find, I know that you've just gotten started, but do you feel a certain connection with the students? Because it seems like that all the teachers have really, really special connections with their students at the Technology Center. And I think that's important. That's something you won't find everywhere.
You really do, and especially with the trade classes like welding and building, the building class, the automotive class. Those classes are geared towards more of the work style. So you run into different people when you have jobs. So you build those relationships the same as they're going to build relationships when they go to the next level.
Sure. And finally, I have to say that the relationship thing is great between any teacher and student, but I also feel, and I have a very strong affinity because I've lived here all of my 38 years, that Wythe County is the best place in the world for a sense of community. And having done these weekly spotlights, I've met some of the junior and senior students of George Wythe High School and the Technology Center, and you could not find a finer group of young people to work with. And I'm sure you agree with that.
Oh, for sure. Wythe County is the best place in America.
I could not agree with that more. And our programs that we have in this community, both school-wise and otherwise, are more often than not built to help the community and help each other. We take care of our own, for sure, here in Wythe County.
Oh, yes, I completely agree. I've made a lot of friends. I'm a transplant, so to speak, of Wythe County, but I have become a Wythe Countyan wholeheartedly. My children go to school at Roar Creek, so we are very happy to be part of the Wythe County community.
Wonderful. And we thank you so much for all that you've done for the community and our young people here and for the workforce here to make it a better place for people to live and work. So thank you for all that you're doing.
I do appreciate it. It's a pleasure to help these kids and to help the community by building the workforce a little better each day.